Now, workplaces, families, out of school time providers, we've always worked around the school day schedules. But now they're going to have to, school districts are going to have to adhere to the same class size limits. And they're talking about staggered school days or alternative school days. This is going to have a huge implication on working parents and the businesses who want the working parents to come back to their office. So for working parents who need a place to enroll their kids, does this open an opportunity for us, or does it make it even harder?
I think it's an exciting opportunity actually for us. The silver lining in all of this, I believe, and Lucille and Danny, you can definitely counter me and say absolutely not. But I just feel like we have an extraordinary opportunity to collaborate and think outside the box. And so when we get back to normal, which we won't be going back to any normal, moving forward is an opportunity for us to really think about our programming and our out of school time space in a completely different way. So if we were to stagger schedules, for example, there may be AM programs. We've heard of that before school programs running at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, this might be 7 to noon or 8 to noon. And that's a very viable out of school time in which we have some flexibility and opportunity to be creative and be innovative. And the same would be true still for after school. So I think the key piece is going to be having the flexibility to create and to innovate. And as Danny was mentioning, the opportunities for new partnerships and new ways of looking at the type of programming and learning that we want to see happen, not only in an in-school setting, but out of school time as well. Right. And so I see the silver lining as being very exciting. Let's, this is our opportunity to reinvent, right? So let's do that, because that's certainly what is going to happen in the future, at least from my perspective. I think these two are going to be better able to answer the impact relative to your day-to-day operations. But I'm hopeful that I can help be a thought partner in that and learn from you as well.
Yeah, Lucille?
I'd be excited to move that through, because it allows us to bridge the gap from what our students are currently experiencing. They're at home. So if we've got this staggered school day, then some of their classes may be in Zoom, which is what we're offering now in our programs, because they have to do their virtual learning. So it would be the best of both worlds from Lucille's perspective. They get to be in a structured environment. They get to be with us, but there's still the connect with their colleagues, their students, their friends. So I'd be interested to explore those possibilities. And
so, Lucille, let me just understand. So you have students who would be at a YWCA facility who are now engaging through distance learning with their classes, but they're still physically at the YWCA. Is that what I'm
That's
hearing?
what we have right now.
Okay.
Because the students still have a course load. So they're doing Zoom and in-class instruction, and then they're still with us. But if we are moving towards a staggered school space, then, when they're starting school later, they need that care in the morning, and we do morning care just like we do after school care. So it's just a matter of being flexible in how we adjust those hours out. But at the end of the day, we're really here to support the children and support the families and what our community at large look like. So I really think there's going to be a lot of collaboration with other organizations in ways that we not necessarily haven't even thought about or done. We're just going to need all of everyone's brain power to kind of push some of these things through.
Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think they both said it so well. As I was mentioning before, I think that I think it's an opportunity for us to move out of these silos that we've gotten ourselves into for such a long time, just because we know what needs to happen. And the unknown is very scary. So I don't want to downplay the challenges and the hardships that might come up with the change of this sort, both for our families as well as our staff, and of course the schools themselves. But I do think that there's an amazing opportunity, and I think it comes at a good time for our industry as well. The reality is, for youth development, we were getting pretty. It was getting to be a very competitive job market in the after-school world, and I think I could speak for most organizations to say that ensuring that we had enough staff previous to this particular piece was a challenge. The ability, and this is very much a silver lining, and I know there's some that might not see it in the same way that I do, the ability to open up the opportunity. If you take a regular after-school leader who might be in college and they're taking courses in the morning and they go and they work their job in the afternoon, we've had to let people go, or we haven't had to let people go. They've decided to leave because they have afternoon classes and we don't have an opportunity for them to switch out. And so I think on a very simple scale, this might give us the access to more staff, more flexibility for our staff to ensure that they have a well-rounded time. I also think that one of the things that people don't remember is that the majority of programs run all year round. And so many of our staff are used to working an 11-hour day or an 8-hour day within an 11-hour time frame. And so there are many of us as community organizations that have the experience on what the pacing will look like in order to run staff or program for a very extended long period of time. And that's what we do during the summertime. And it might have a different focus and there might be kids moving in and out, but I think there's a lot that as we work with our school partners and our community partners, there's a lot of knowledge in the Valley. And, I think that it's a perfect time for us to collect it and really look at how do we make this work in a way that works for everybody. And I think that's an opportunity I'm excited for. I would say that's the biggest opportunity. Okay. Sometimes we have opportunities for things to look good for the Y, or maybe it's for the school district, or maybe it's for the state. But this truly is a good time to reset, to look at what is the opportunity that looks great for all of us. And I didn't see a natural point in that happening. So again, silver lining. And I know that it sounds a lot easier than what I presented, but just want to share that.